What is good, famo? It's your boy Mo Rice here, back with another Ableton Live quick tip. What we have today, it might be a little longer, I don't know. I've already set up some stuff to try and make it go a little smoother, a little quicker. So, let's get right into it. Today we have the drum rack. I don't know if any of you have used it before, but there's some cool stuff going on here, some really powerful stuff. Which is why this might take a little longer. So, the drum rack has 3 sections, right? Right now we're only seeing 2. That's okay. Alright, so let's go over the pad section first. This is the pad section. There's a million pads. There's 127 pads. And you can only use 16 at a time. But you can put as many sounds as you want on here. You can only launch 16 at a time from this view. If you have an 88 key keyboard, you can play 88 samples at one time because you have all those keys ready to go. But we're just gonna focus on this 16 pads right here. So I've loaded in some samples so that you can see the controls. There's the mute button. There's the play button and the solo button. The mute button mutes it so you can't hear it, bam, so you can't hear it. The solo button makes it so you can hear it, but you can only hear that one. So if we play that, here if I play some multiple sounds at once, that's that sound, right? Oh. Can only hear the one sound even though all 3 sounds are being played at once. If we unsolo it. Yeah, you can play multiple sounds at once. And then there's the part that has the name. We can rename this clap, snap, snare. And then to swap out the sample, you can just kinda bam. I don't want to do that though. I picked this snare because I like it. This is called the hot swap button. It turns on hot swap mode, and it's easier than dragging a sample down. You can hot swap it in. That's the pad section. Then there's like this sample editor here. That's the second section that we have. I'm not gonna go over this. This is a completely different instrument. It's called a sampler. They just put it inside of the drum rack so that you can play the samples. This is a whole nother monster in itself, guys. Look at all of those controls. There's a bunch of different views. Oh man, that's a lot of stuff to go over. But I'm gonna do it, just not today, because that's not what we're here for. So that's that. And then we have, if we press this button right here with the 3 lines, bam, we have something called the chain section. So the chain section just shows you all the different sounds. Bam, 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 bam. This is all the sounds that are in here. Yeah, let's close that sample editor for now. And right now you can't really do that much with it. I mean, you can pan stuff, you can change the volume, solo, mute it. You can play it, but like, that's nice, but it's not great. I mean, there's a lot more stuff we can do with it, actually. If you look over here, there's a few buttons over here. So, if we press this one that says I.O, right, ins and outs, oh my god. 3 more sections just came up out of nowhere. What? So, this is actually super important, and a lot of people actually don't know about this section, and it can make their life a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Right, so if we make a beat, right, so if we play that, in order to get the full effect of the snare, you gotta put in 3 notes instead of 1 note. That's not what we want, man. I mean, sure, it sounds good, but if you change the receive tab so that all of these play the same note, you see you get one pad that plays all of them. And the reason it does this is because the receive play tab tells the drum rack which note you want each sound to be played on. So if you press the D, it'll play all of these. If you press E, it'll play the pedal. So I mean that's what that does, but it's super helpful, very powerful stuff. And we can rename this now. We can't rename it. Okay. But now what we can do is we can take all these and press group, right? And you can rename that snare. Now we have Swagalicious snare, right? Ooh, yeah. Alright, so now we're gonna add a few more notes. Yeah, you just saw these change. Not gonna call attention to that. Right, so we're gonna add a few more notes. Here. Right, and if you listen to it. Ooh, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a doggone second. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Is that what we want? Nah, that's not what we want. Right, so if you didn't hear it, what happened was the open hi-hat played, and then it just kept going. Like, okay, I'm gonna break it down for you real quick. So, you know how you got a real drum kit and you play some closed hi-hats, then you play the open hi-hat, then you play another closed hi-hat, and it's like you know how it does that? Where when you play the open hi-hat, then the closed hi-hat stops playing the open hi-hat, obviously because you closed it. So the computer, Ableton, the drum rack, does not know that unless you tell it that specifically. So like, yeah, this sound that we got right now, I know that's good for like trap, you know, sometimes, but for acoustic stuff it's not that great. But there is a workaround for that. You take the choke value, right, and you make all of the ones that you want to affect the open hi-hat, right? Take all the ones that you want to be affected, and you change that to 1. Ooh. 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 So dope. Exactly what we wanted. Oh, my heart. Yes. That's what we need. Then you can put a little groove on here, right? Now it's really starting to sound like a boom bap hip hop beat. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's that. That's the IO section. So that beat's great, right? But it's feeling a little bit dry, you know? I mean, there's no room. It just sounds electronic with a little swing, you know? But like there's no realism, you know? So what we want to do is we want to put some reverb on the stuff that usually has reverb. Like in a room, like if you listen to a room, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the room that I'm recording this in has a real loud echo, right? So like if I were playing in this room, you'd be able to hear that in the microphone that I'm recording. Well, not this microphone, but like a good microphone, right? So like generally what you'll hear is like, you know, So usually, I mean, this is a little extreme, but usually what you'll hear is something like this. And that's great, but now we have a bunch of reverbs on all of these chains, which, I mean, it works, but I mean, this gets into the whole, like once you have like a million tracks, like, it eats up processing power, you know? So what we're gonna take all these reverbs off of these tracks, because we really just don't need them. And actually what we can do is press this little R button right here. If you press this R button, drop audio effects here. What? Okay, let's see what happens when I do that. Send? What's that? Alright, I'll explain to you what that is. Good sir, ma'am, madam, whatever you'd like to be called. What happens is if you change this send value, right, it sends the track, hence the name, to the reverb, and then to your master, or your output, right? So now, we have a reverb going into the snare. Right? And I mean, that's pretty great. So, yeah, because now we have one reverb, we can send it to all of these tracks. It's phenomenal, actually. It's fantastic. So let's just put in some values. Usually you're gonna want to use your ear. Actually, I already had these values set previously. I know where I like them. And change settings. There, that sounds pretty good, don't you think? So now there's a little bit of space. Just makes it feel spacious. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you want. If you have any feedback, questions, anything like that, leave it down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit that like button. No, don't just hit it. Smash that like button. And if you super like this, if you really liked it, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And you know, just make sure the notification button is clicked. That way you know when I post a new video and you're not just guessing. You know, it doesn't fly under your radar. You gotta hit that notification button. Get that notification. You wanna learn, right? You wanna hear beats, right? Then that's what you wanna do. Alright, I'm pretty much done here. For my next video, my next Ableton quick tip, I might go over the operator or the simpler, one of those synths that just is super helpful that I use a lot of the time. And, you know, I might have a little beat tutorial going on. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do exactly. But thanks for watching, guys. You know, and girls. Guys and girls. I really appreciate it. See you next time for another Ableton quick tip tutorial. Thanks.